My son was exploited in the Thames Valley area. I want other parents to be aware of this happening, to be aware of the signs so it doesn't happen to their children.
Thank you for taking the time to watch these bite-sized education videos for parents and carers. Child exploitation is a huge challenge across the whole of the UK, with thousands of children being exploited, and that includes children here in Thames Valley. We know it's a horrific crime where young people are preyed upon by criminal gangs, and as well as being proactive and targeting those offenders through policing, we know that prevention is key. So please do watch this video and learn how you can help to protect our children. In this video, you will hear the story of a parent whose child experienced exploitation, learn about the different types of child exploitation, discover how to spot the warning signs, learn how to have positive conversations with young people on this topic, and find out where to get further support and advice.
My son was 13, happy-go-lucky kid. He was quite small, so he was the smallest in his year. Funny, good sense of humour. And then I suddenly saw a change in him from one day to the next. He went from that kid who loved his lions to somebody who woke up one morning in the clothes he'd been in the night before, 7 o'clock, rushing to get out the door, panicking. It took me quite a while to work out what was going on. He kept telling me everything was fine. He always looked dirty, unkempt, phone constantly going off and then disappearing. I'd try and stop him from leaving the house and it would end up in World War III. I found out my son was being exploited by an older male who was forcing him to sell cannabis through county lines. I wish I'd seen the warning signs a lot quicker than I had. My message to any parents and carers out there, talk about it more, get help. There's lots of services that are able to help in times of crisis.
Child exploitation is when a child or young person is coerced or manipulated into doing something they don't want to do.
Children may not realise they're being exploited, as they might trust their abuser or fear being blamed if they speak out. It's crucial to remember that a child cannot consent to abuse, making it vital to recognise the signs.
Child sexual exploitation is when a child or young person is coerced or deceived into sexual activity for something they may need or want, such as gifts, money or drugs. It can also happen online by sharing nude images of themselves or sexual conversations. Another form of child sexual exploitation we see more and more is called sextortion. Sextortion is when a child is manipulated into sending a nude image to someone pretending to be their friend. This happens online and then they will be asked to send more images or money in exchange for them not telling their family or friends. This has a detrimental impact on the child because they feel that they have shared that image in the first place and they blame themselves, and this is very underreported. What we do see more and more is peer-on-peer exploitation. That can be when one child of the same age asks another child to share an image of themselves, blackmails them, threatening to share these images with the rest of the school. Child criminal exploitation. This is when a child or young person is forced into committing a crime. This could be any crime at all, such as running drugs, known as county lines. It could be just to shoplift something. It could be that an adult has told that child to crawl through a top window in a house to commit a burglary. They may also be asked to hold money in their bank accounts. This is known as financial exploitation.
Some of the risk factors that may lead to a child being more vulnerable to exploitation include family conflict, domestic abuse, bereavement or loss, bullying, feeling unloved and seeking validation, or having unmet needs like money, housing or food.
It's important to recognise that even though the age of consent is 16, young people over the age of 16 can still be exploited. Victims can be boys or girls from any ethnicity and any types of backgrounds. Thames Valley Police has a child-centred principle where we want every child to be seen, heard and safe.
If you suspect your child is being exploited, you should contact the police or another support agency, and you can find out the best ways to do this at the end of this video.
Within our services, we work alongside professionals to support children and families with children who have experienced exploitation. There are a number of warning signs that you may see if your child's being exploited, and I'm just going to talk you through a few of them today. If a child suddenly has a number of missing episodes, and particularly if they're found outside of their local area, that may be an indicator that there is some risk. You might start noticing that your child is a lot more attached to their mobile phone, or that they may have more than one device. You may also see some changes in a child's sleep patterns, and this may be linked to them needing to be available on their phone. You might start noticing changes in a child's friendships and relationships. You might start noticing that a child is much more secretive about who they're with, where they're going, and their general lifestyle. A strong indicator that a child may be at risk of exploitation might be them suddenly appearing with significant amounts of money or gifts that you haven't bought them at home. You might start noticing that a child starts retreating from hobbies or activities or clubs that they've previously really enjoyed. You may notice a change in your child's physical appearance. This may be indicated by a child not looking after their own hygiene, but it may also be indicated by more extreme concerns such as bruising or injuries. The really important thing to remember here is that we're looking for changes suddenly happening or that we feel concerned about. What we're really aware of in our service is that a really common theme is that children feel shame and judgment around their experiences of exploitation.
The feedback that we've had from children and young people is that they've wished that someone would have asked them about how they're feeling and their experience in terms of exploitation.
So what we try and encourage is professionals and grown-ups and parents to create a safe space where their children can talk openly about what they've experienced. It's really important to try and find a comfortable, relaxed space to talk to children. You probably wouldn't choose to do that over the dinner table with younger siblings around.
A couple of examples might be maybe going for a walk in the park, so you're side by side, or in a car journey where there's less eye contact and children are more willing and open to share their experiences. Here are some conversation starters that might be helpful to use.
One of the ways to start a conversation with a child might be to say something like, "We can tell that you're having a really hard time at the moment. Is there anything you'd like to talk to us about?"
Another thing you might say is, "I know you might be feeling really scared about how I might respond, but I promise you we will work this out together."
A good way to start the conversation might be to say, "It might feel like you're really stuck and like nothing's going to change, but it absolutely can with the right support."
Another question that might be helpful is, "Are you able to share with me what's been happening?"
The other thing to think about is whether you're the right person to be having the conversation with a child. So you could also say something like, "If you don't feel able to talk to me, is there anybody else that you'd feel comfortable with?"
Another great thing to say is, "What can I do to help you feel safe?"
We are really aware that children are often exploited in groups. Children are much more likely to disclose concerns and worries they have about their friends than they are to disclose about themselves, which is why it's really important to ask questions such as, "Is there anyone else that you're worried about?" There is nothing more important than having open, transparent conversations with your children. These can feel really difficult and really uncomfortable, and as long as we can create safety, we can create that space for them to be able to share. That's what we're aiming for.
Thank you for taking the time to watch this video. Recognising the signs of child exploitation can make a huge difference to keeping children safe. For more information and guidance, follow the links at the end of this video, and do watch out for other videos in this series. Together, we can protect our young people and build a safer community.